Welcome to News 6 Extra. I'm News 6 anchor Lisa Bell. It is Wednesday, July 23rd. We have a lot to get to, including a sentencing hearing that is underway right now for Brian Kohlberger. He's the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students 3 years ago. But first, it is another hot one out there today with some scattered showers expected across Central Florida. To walk us through the timeline of all of that, we want to bring in meteorologist Michelle Morgan, who has been tracking our weather for us all morning. Michelle, how's it looking outside right now?
It's looking pretty good, Lisa. Just a few isolated showers and some downpours popping up. I haven't seen any thunderstorms quite yet, but as we go through today, the rain coverage is going to increase, and many of us will see soaking rain. It's not going to rain all day, but some soaking rain certainly possible, which could lead to localized flooding. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Here's a quick check of the radar. You can see the showers and storms are pretty isolated, or I should say showers. We are looking at some storms off to the west, and that's about it. And this is all thanks to a broad area of low pressure that is over the northern Florida, and it is associated with a frontal boundary. That front will continue to funnel in that tropical moisture as we go through today, keeping rain chances elevated. It's also caught the attention of the National Hurricane Center. They have highlighted the northern Gulf for possible tropical development, looking at a 10% chance in the next 2 to 7 days. Either way, it is looking like it's going to bring heavy rain to us today, and then heavy rain to parts of the northern Gulf Coast heading into the weekend. Now, temperatures are heating up quickly. We're at 90 in Orlando, 88 in Sanford, 84 in Ocala, and 86 degrees in Claremont. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast, rain chances will stay around 20 to 30% as we go through the next hour or so. But then after 2, 3 o'clock, we're going up to 70, 80%. And as I mentioned before, it is expected to get heavy. Now, the excessive rainfall outlook highlights all of Central Florida, really the entire peninsula, under a marginal risk for flooding. Isolated minor flooding, 2 to 3 inches is possible, and the ground is already saturated from yesterday's rain. So again, surface can't really hold more rain, so we could see some ponding, some minor flooding, especially in those low-lying areas and poorly drained areas. And locally higher amounts are certainly possible. So let's go ahead and take a look at the timing. We'll continue to see showers and storms fire up across Central Florida as we go through the next couple of hours. By 4 or 5, continuing to see heavy rain popping up across areas. Orange County, Osceola County, parts of Sumter, Lake, and Marion counties could see heavy rain. And then heading into the 7, 8 o'clock hour, continuing to see heavy rain in parts of western Marion County along I-75. And then after 10, most of the shower and storm activity is expected to dissipate, but can't rule out a stray shower or storm. So here's a look at your 7-day, 90 today, 80% chance for rain, 94 tomorrow with a 60% chance. On Friday, or in the middle 90s with a 40% chance. And then heading into the weekend, it is looking hot, Lisa. Upper 90s will be near record heat. And of course, not a whole lot of rain in the forecast.
All right, get ready. It's coming for us, Michelle. Thank you. Well, happening right now, a sentencing hearing is underway for the man who pleaded guilty to the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho students. It's a story that gained national attention, even really made international headlines. Now, the judge is expected to sentence Brian Kohlberger to 4 life sentences without parole after he accepted a plea deal. But as CBS's Andres Gutierrez explains, before that happens, the families of the victims will get to address Kohlberger in court.
Emotions are high inside this Boise courtroom where the family and friends of 4 murdered University of Idaho students came face to face with their loved one's killer.
Because of him, 4 beautiful, genuine, compassionate people were taken from this world for no reason.
It's been nearly 3 years since Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez, Zaina Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were found stabbed to death at their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Earlier this month, Brian Kohlberger accepted a plea deal that took the death penalty off the table, but keeps him in prison for the rest of his life.
I hope that they are remembered for who they are, not what happened to them, because who they are were so beautiful.
Heading into today's sentencing, there were so many questions surrounding this case, including the motive and the details of the killings. The father of Kaylee Gonzalez told CBS News last week that he was writing his impact statement without knowing key information.
I need to know the facts of what, how many times was my daughter stabbed? Was she choked? What happened?
As part of the deal, Koberger, a 30-year-old criminology student, also waived his right to appeal. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Boise, Idaho.
Well, we are getting a better idea of the impact of Florida's new super speeder law. The measure, which went into effect earlier this month, aims to crack down on dangerous driving. As News 6's Mark Lehman reports, already there have been multiple arrests along I-4, including one driver who was caught going 155 miles per hour.
I'm News 6's Mark Lehman, and we're at the FHP headquarters in Orange County. This is after there's been yet another arrest under Florida's new super speeder law. That makes 2 this week, and troopers say they've been warning drivers about the new law for weeks, but despite those warnings, drivers still aren't slowing down. It's been 3 weeks now since Florida's super speeder law went into effect, and the arrests are stacking up. For the second time this week, troopers arrested a man accused of going more than 100 miles per hour on I-4. This image shows the traffic stop along the express lanes in Longwood. FHP says the driver, 20-year-old Ian Rivera Marrero, was going 135 in a 60, and troopers have been warning about the consequences since the law went into effect.
People traveling over 100 miles per hour on the interstate, we happen to see it all the time. In this new law, you're looking at potential hefty fines and even jail time.
Over the weekend, another 20-year-old was arrested for going nearly 100 miles over the limit. Troopers say Octavius Hunt was clocked at 155 on the I-4 express lanes in Altamont Springs. Under the new law, drivers going 50 over the limit or more than 100 face up to 30 days in jail and a $500 fine. Repeat offenders could get 90 days and a $1,000 fine. Their driver's license could also be revoked for a year.
We are hoping so. We're hoping we're going to get results. We're hoping that your viewers are listening, because it's not just a ticket they're walking away with now. They could be behind bars.
Law enforcement says the goal of all of this is saving lives, and they also say they will continue cracking down on super speeders, making arrests in some cases until drivers get the message and slow down. In Orange County, Mark Lehman, News 6.
From alligator Alcatraz in South Florida to protests in Winter Park to backyard chickens in Brevard County. We'll have all of that for you coming up right after this quick break. Welcome back to News 6 Extra. I'm News 6 anchor Lisa Bell, and we have a lot of controversy that's happening in the state of Florida right now, and perhaps one of the biggest ones is happening in South Florida. We're talking about Alligator Alcatraz. Governor Ron DeSantis is defending that controversial immigration detention center in the Everglades. Advocates say the conditions there are inhumane, and they are comparing that facility to a concentration camp. News 6 anchor Matt Austin has a closer look at the growing tension and the governor's response.
This place is a cage. It's for dogs.
Family members of detainees and members of several South Florida nonprofits gathered at the gate to Alligator Alcatraz to claim conditions inside are inhumane.
It's messed up. This is evil, guys.
The mother of a detainee says her son is being treated like he's in a concentration camp.
No le dieron una pastilla para el dolor. El día 16, él lo trajeron el día 14.
So she wants to emphasize that her son has not been giving medicine or adequate medical care.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis pushed back against the claims during a visit to Fort Lauderdale.
They were mad that the ham sandwiches weren't toasted. Excuse me?
The governor says he's confident the detainees are being treated fairly. He says the Department of Homeland Security will handle legal claims.
It's odd that they're going in there. I mean, you have these representatives. I mean, first of all, like they're trying to get some notoriety. So they're making these claims.
Governor DeSantis says he plans to visit Alligator Alcatraz in the coming days. Matt Austin, News 6.
In just a matter of hours, Winter Park leaders could finally decide whether to limit where and how people can protest outside some city venues. It comes after months of back and forth on this controversial issue. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez explains what is being proposed and why not everyone thinks it will be a good idea.
I'm Stephanie Rodriguez reporting in Winter Park. Today, the city will have its final vote on an ordinance that could limit where people protest around the Winter Park Event Center, library, and the Martin Luther King Jr. Park. But not every commissioner was on board last time it came before them. Their proposed ordinance would restrict protests around the Winter Park Library, Event Center, and Martin Luther King Jr. Park. It would create a buffer zone, prohibiting protesters from passing into it. We're here on Morse Boulevard. It is a public sidewalk. Let me show you the perimeter that we're talking about. This is what it looks like here. It is outlined in blue. That's where protesters would have to stay out of. It's right here behind me. If they don't, they'll get a verbal warning, and then after that, they could be fined hundreds of dollars.
Hopefully it's clear where the designations are, especially if they're near public areas.
I spoke with people out in Winter Park about this.
Well, I believe in people's right to protest peacefully, and I believe on public properties that make sense with the particular protest they're having.
Governments can impose limited restrictions on the time, place, and manner of speech in public forums, but can't restrict speech based on content or viewpoint. The ordinance calls the restrictions content neutral and in the interests of the public health, safety, and welfare. It also prohibits people from intentionally disrupting a private event, city event, or library use while in the building or on the property.
It's possible case by case, but I can see where it has no teeth unless you have some kind of a law.
The ordinance passed its first reading 3-2 earlier this month. Commissioner Marty Sullivan was one of the opposing votes, saying it would infringe on First Amendment rights. Commissioner Sullivan said that any of the disruptions that would require something like this could be remedied with rules rather than an ordinance. That meeting is happening today at 3:30, and if it passes, it will go into effect immediately. Reporting in Winter Park, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Stephanie, thank you. Well, you've probably heard the saying, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Well, how many chickens can Brevard County residents actually count on their property? That is the topic of our next controversy that we're getting to today. Currently, if you live outside a city, you cannot have more than 4 chickens. However, one Brevard County commissioner is fighting to get that changed. Brevard County community correspondent James Sparvero explains why.
I'm your Brevard County community correspondent, James Sparvero. Unless you've been living under a rock for the past couple of years, you know the direction the price of eggs has gone in.
They're really expensive.
And that's exactly why I stopped buying eggs from the store. Instead, I found someone who has their own chickens, and now eggs cost me about half of what I used to pay for them. In Brevard County and unincorporated communities, the rules now say you can have 1 chicken if you live on less than a half acre. If your lot's bigger, you can have up to 4.
We are one of the few counties that has such harsh restrictions.
Commissioner Katie Delaney, who represents North Brevard, wants her district to be able to have 6 chickens per lot, and that's any size. She drew comparisons to other counties.
Indian River, for instance, they allow 6 chickens. Marion County, they allow 6 chickens.
Pushback came from Commissioner Kim Atkinson.
Who's going to police whether you're keeping your feed properly stored?
Who said this would result in more code enforcement complaints.
I've had code enforcement called on me before, and we've had to get rid of our chickens before.
How many did you have?
And Commissioner Tom Goodson, who worries about other critters that chickens can attract.
Predators come to chickens. Rats come to chicken food.
And we have never had rodent problems ever.
If we don't have any more to talk about chickens, I'm about to have a heart attack, so let's hurry up.
So you can probably guess how Commissioner Goodson voted. But Commissioner Delaney still carried a 3-2 majority. So that means her proposal now goes to Brevard County's Planning and Zoning Board. They'll make any possible changes, and then the proposal has to come back to the commission again for a final vote. We'll keep you updated as the chicken ordinance advances. In Brevard County, I'm your community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Latest anytime at clickorlando.com. Be sure to join us for our next newscast starting at 4.